The leader of civil society organisation TUR, Angela Rungat, today refuted the press conference addressed by Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma, who tried to justify that everything was properly done with the Meghalaya fortified rice seized by Assam police at Boko. Retaliating the Chief Minister's statement, who said that NGOs should verify before making allegations against the state government, Rungat said TUR has done due diligence to verify all the facts before exposing malpractice in the implementation of ICDS program in the state.
And how this ICDS program and what is happening is all okay. And we also now would like to further clarify to the Chief Minister and make him aware of the actual realities. And I would also like to say that there is nothing embarrassing when civil society organizations such as the KSU or us do this, because we see it as our responsibility. In fact, it is good that the KSU went to the FCI and met the director, trying to clarify things. And good that organizations such as us and the CSWO have always tried to look at the ground reality of what is happening to people's entitlements. So it's not also embarrassing that a press is trying to carry out these news items in a free and fair manner so that the public knows what is happening. What is, however, embarrassing is the Chief Minister bending over backwards, trying to defend a tainted company, Continental Milk Co. Limited, and also trying to justify the actions of a previous government, where usually this government has always tried to brush off any issues as being legacy issues or issues of a previous government. But here they are trying to defend a company which in the past 10 years had also been, highlighted as being a company that was running our ICDS program to the ground. Now, we're not trying to create confusion. What we're saying is always based on facts. It's based on people's perspective from the ground, the actual ground reality, as well as diligent research. So you have no business accusing us of not doing research, because let me show you what are the papers we are basing what we're saying right now on. Number one, it will be, you're well advised to go and read the Supreme Court order of 2019. You're also well advised to read the Commissioner's report, which was submitted to the court. The own thing which was given by the government about the ICDS program, the NHRC report on the ICDS program, and we also base whatever we're saying on the CAG report, on even reports coming from the ground, and also the Niti Aayog has also suggested a few things on the ICDS, and collating all of this together is what we then present to the government. Now, the Chief Minister kept harping that this rice is not NFSA rice. Let us first be very clear again that the Supplementary Nutrition Program under the ICDS is something that comes out of the National Food Security Act 2013. Clauses 4, 5, 6 talks about SNP of ICDS. So yes, this rice is NFSA rice in that sense. Now, let me also talk about Continental Milk Co. Limited. And I stress again, the Chief Minister is trying to say that there is no scam, that this group is not blacklisted. Let me explain to you why this is a scam and why this group, this Continental Milk Co. Limited, is fleecing the state and its people. Now, you have to understand that there have been several court orders. Since 2004, 2009, 2012, then there was the NFSA Act itself in 2013. And most recently, 2019, the Vaishnorani Mahila judgment from the Supreme Court makes it very clear about how best the SNP program of the ICDS can be run. But obviously, our state government, whether it was 10 years ago or now, is trying to willfully misrepresent facts, also willfully misreading even the notification of the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and it's definitely in breach of the Supreme Court orders. And let me tell you why. Number one, Continental Milkos Limited does not have to be the manufacturer, the sole manufacturer that the government works with to deliver this program. In fact, the Chief Minister very proudly was reading out the notification from the Ministry of Women and Child Development saying that it is advisable that government should get nutritious food prepared and manufactured by competent groups and entities, irrespective of whether these are SHGs, women's groups, etc. Now, let me tell you that the Supreme Court actually says that you have to make all-out effort to decentralize the program because it works better, to try and work with women's groups, with SHGs, with local communities. So why are you favoring only Continental Milkos Limited is the question, when they are actually breaking the norms legally and also socially what has been stated by the court as something which should be carried out, which is that you give nutritious food, which is locally available, culturally specific. Continental Milkos is not doing that. Now the other thing, which the jargon which you keep using about fortified, micronutrient fortified foods, energy dense foods. Let me tell you that when the deliberations happened on the NFSA Act in Parliament, that clause that it has to be fortified foods was removed. The stress is that there should be delivery of nutritious food to children because the aim of this program was to address the undernutrition, stunting, anemia, and to ensure that lactating mothers, are well fed and are healthy in order to address IMR and MMR. So now the fact that this government continues to work with Continental Milkos and is holding a press conference to justify them giving a tender to Continental Milkos by just saying that they deliver things on time, that they repackage, and that all that is hogwash. Because the same company 10 years ago, we had randomly picked up samples from across the state, and it was researched by the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad. And they found that none of what they were delivering was actually meeting the standards. I will show you. It is shocking. In terms of even vitamin A was not even detectable from that sample from Meghalaya. The calorie value was 29% below what should be there in that package. Similarly, proteins. So, just trying to say that these companies better deliver and that they ensure fortification is all just trying to mislead us, the public. In fact, locally available foods which children will eat, whether it's rimbai or corn or other, rice-based things, chana, which is made with neyong, which is rich in potassium. All of these will better provide nutrition to our children. We know for a fact that those packaged so-called ready-to-eat or ready-to-cook products, which a monopoly like Continental Milkos favored by the government is delivering to these centers, they just pile up there, rot away, and children don't eat them, and the centers find it difficult to even store because you can't use them, and then they have to finally go and give it to the pigs. So now if you think that this is a program that is being well run because there is timely delivery, that this quarter also these people have delivered without paying heed to what kind, the quality. You say that we need to use Continental Milkos because you're stressing on quality. Let me tell you that if it is decentralized, if mothers are in charge of a feeding program of their own children, they are best to ensure that the food given is clean, hygienic, something which their children will eat. And these groups at the village level are also better placed to monitor. Just ticking the boxes and saying that you've indented this many that have arrived and you have distributed to these centers doesn't show that a program is successful. On the ground, we know that the food provided by continental milkos is not edible. And even in terms of scientific nutritional value has been shown to not be meeting the standards. So yes, it is a tainted and blacklisted company. It appeared in the CAG reports, in the court's observations, and yet you are insisting that you will continue to work with this company. The Supreme Court had issued directives that it is possible to cancel tender notices issued to such nefarious companies, and the government of Meghalaya is well advised to do so even when it comes to continental milkos in this ICDS program. The Supreme Court had made very clear observations that in the name of micronutrient fortification, energy-dense foods, we should not be allowing a contractor lobby to hijack this program. So the issue is also not about replacing continental milkos by some other company. I'm sure Nestle and all of these companies are eyeing the 5,000 crore yearly budget of the government of India in this feeding program. And that is why it is important that we decentralize this program. We actually go and take that component of all the advisories about utilizing local groups to run this program. Meghalaya this year has a budget of 60 crore 37 lakhs 2,000 rupees for the feeding component of the ICDS, because we know that there's an education component, there's salaries, etc. But just on the feeding. Now 60 crores 37 lakhs 2,000 rupees, you would rather that more than half of this goes to a single company supplying bad quality food, when actually this program, if it is decentralized, involving local communities, can also be a means to create livelihoods for people, enterprises. You have your other programs in the government about livelihood mission, etc. Why can't there be a system where you're encouraging local farmers, local poultry groups, and especially now with the pandemic, we know for a fact that so many well-trained youths who are trained in food technology have returned. Why can't all of them be involved locally, which will also give a boost to the local economy and to employment generation? I mean, if we actually are thinking from the point of view of ensuring outcomes of this program, that it's really meeting the needs of raising the nutritional standards of our children and lactating mothers. And if we want to ensure that it is successful and not be thinking about profits and about crony capitalism, then this is the way forward. And the government will not be trying to cover up and be defensive. Rather, they would try to engage and actually go down to the ground and find out what is the reality. Now, other states of the country, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, have shown that the decentralized model of the ICDS program has worked very well. In fact, the court also, looking at these models, has shown that within 2 months, local entrepreneurs can be trained in setting up units to provide this food. And also, in fact, there are provisions in the Anganwadi centers itself to have hot cooked meals, So now, if we want really that this program also cross-benefits our economy, we can look at people supplying oranges, bananas, other things, eggs. These can be part of the food which is used for giving our children and lactating mothers. And this idea that it has to be this company in the name of efficiency and in the name that they are able to deliver is a fallacy. It is a lie that is being perpetuated by the government. It is systemic corruption and it is a systemic scam that has gone on for so many years, and it is time that we stop this. A scam is a dishonest scheme where the outcomes are zero. You're happy to just be spending 60 crores plus when actually the program is not delivering anything. When much of that food, the rice which has, why do you have to transport the rice all the way to Noida for it to come back here to then be fed to the pigs? So it is time that this government actually look into the spirit of this program. That being that we don't want our MMR and IMR to be at 877 women lost their lives last year. 61 children lost their lives last year. And this is a program that is meant actually to ensure that this doesn't happen. So I think that we don't need a government that is there to ensure profiteering of these schemes. We don't need a government that will bend over backwards to justify and to fight for a company. We actually need a compassionate government who listens to the people and who actually would earnestly be trying to root out hunger, malnutrition, who will try to be uplifting the economy by building enterprises and by using such schemes to do that. So once again, I would say that what is happening in the SNP ICDS program is a scam. It is something that the government ought to be investigating into and to actually take corrective policy decisions. It is possible if the will is there. So once again, the government should not be misreading notifications, orders, judgments from the courts, and should have the interests of the people in mind. And I challenge the government. I am ready to go with you to the ground to do inspections, to actually do a people's audit of the scheme. Because it is in our interest and in everybody's interest that it works well. And now if you also said that there was rice that has already come in May and June, I want to put that question also. I hope it has been distributed, because I don't think people want to eat stale rice which is, pest infested, because you have kept it in stock for 2 months. So we are willing to go and audit. And I also call on all the people, whether it is mothers or women's groups or youth groups or locality heads, we can do this. We can make this program work for our children. So please highlight the reality of what is happening in this program in your own locality, in your own village. And let's ensure that 60 crores does not go to waste, and that our children are healthy, and that our lactating mothers are healthy, and also that a scheme like this uplifts our economy and our community as a whole.